Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the chat, and then we'll get into this. Steven Cicero, what's up, dude? Good to see you. We have Dom G, Nick K, Nick the Best. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Michael Cartwright, good to see you as well. Regilio, hello, sir. Hola to you. Offshore Miner 619, what's up, dude? Backwards Miner, my man Dave, good to see you. Patrick Murphy, everybody else I may have missed, I apologize. And yes, we are in the afternoon. It's not a morning grind, it's just the daily grind. So I wanted to see how this time worked out, and I was a bit busy this morning. So man, these kids, summertime camp, all this stuff, it's just it's nuts. My truck's in the shop, so I'm working off one vehicle. All right, sorry, I know you guys give me shit in the chat. All right, Bitcoin 63,920 bucks, looking pretty good, to be honest. Honestly, I don't think we're gonna see anything but decent upside from here. Perfect. At least throughout, I don't know, you know what, July, August, and September are usually pretty positive. But I guess we'll have to see. Ethereum 3420, I guess the ETH ETFs, actually I saw some sort of article saying that Gensler might have approved the ETH ETFs. I don't know how true that is, you know, and I could look it up while I'm you know, watching something, but I'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it's going to start trading next Tuesday though, or that's what I've heard anyways. Solana $157. We got XRP at 56 cents. LTC's at $71 over here. We have ETC at 22.90. Caspa's at 17.8. Not too bad, just under 18 cents. Dogecoin just under 12 cents. The hell, Doge? Pick your ass off the floor. It's crazy. Whiff, we got Dog Whiff hat, $2.34, 9.98% up on the day. Nice. Nothing really jumping out at me except for XRP being in the deep red, but I don't hold much of it, so it is what it is. All right, on the day, biggest earner on the day so far seems to be Whiff, 10.3% over here according to Crypto Bubbles, rather, not Coin 360. We have $2.35, again ranked 45th. Crazy. We have Mantle over here, 9.1% up, ranked 32nd at 83 cents. WorldCoin's down 10% today, pretty terrible. $2.71, but it actually had a crazy rise yesterday, right? So is what it is. Let's see, Jupiter 5.8% up on the day, 95 cents. How do you guys feel about Jupiter? I think Jupiter's gonna do all right with the whole Solana thing when that ETF comes to fruition, right? Render down 5% today, $6.39. Could be worse, I guess. Yeah, nothing else really jumping out at me. Rune 8.5%. That's Thorchain, $4.53. Not too bad. All right, Flashbang Fear and Greed Index looking like a 61. We went from 29 last week to 69 yesterday to 61 today. Crazy. I want this thing to kind of level out in the middle, somewhere between, you know, 55 and 70. I think it will be all right, and then hopefully we'll just see sideways action or upwards action. That'd be great. Dumpster Fire, what's up? Daily grind in the early afternoon, bro. I know, my kid's napping. I put him down. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go live. I could be hooking up the solar stuff, but I voted against it for you guys. All right, let's see. CoinGecko over here, trending coins. We got Pepe, Rocky, and Toncoin. Look at that, Rocky's up 84.4%. No idea what that is, but it is at 2 cents, a little over 2 cents. We got a $23 million market cap. We have 85% up on the day, almost 86%. Weird. What is this coin? Actually, you know what? It's a meme. It's definitely a meme coin. I can see the logo, kinda. It's a rock with googly eyes. Oh, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it, dude. That's a riot. It's a rock. It's literally a rock with googly eyes. All right. Well, that settles that. All right. Let me get back into the mode here. Here we go. All right. Top 10 coins by coin market cap on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, Lido Staked Ether, XRP, Toncoin, and Dogecoin still holding in 10th place. $17.3 billion market cap. Cardano's at a $15.2 billion market cap at 42 cents. I think Cardano's going to do just fine. We'll have to see though. We will have to see with everything. It's gonna be an easy 6x, in my opinion. We have Litecoin 22nd place rather, $71.23. Again, I think this is an easy like 3x, I would say. I mean, we could definitely see way more than that, 5 or 6, right? But easy 3 in my opinion. 20 for Litecoin rather. It's about 80% down as of right now from the all-time high. Caspa's never seen a bull run. I think this coin's gonna do fantastic as well. And yeah, that's that. Let's move on to the mining segment of things, see what we got over here. Top Profitable miners seem to be still Caspa miners. KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit, $63 a day. You guys know I like to timestamp these and come back a year from now and see what things look like. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a bit better. Oh no, that's worse. That's awful. You guys kind of see, right? DR7 over here, 127 terahash unit. The Sia coin miner, you'd be making 11,000, almost 12,000 Sia coin a day. $61.59 on that thing. That's crazy. Has anybody seen one of these things or any videos on them? I'm gonna have to look up a video on that thing. DR7. Let me just look real quick. DR7. Just looking on my other screen. Give me 1 second. Trying to see if there's anything on YouTube. I don't know. We'll find it in a minute. All right, KS5 20 terahash unit looking like it's making $60.45 a day. We got the KS5M 15 terahash unit making $42.58. The KS5L 12 terahash unit making $32.43. We have the IB-Link BMKS Max and the Dragon Ball miner KS6 11 terahashes making $27.36 a day. The Wind miner K9 10.3 is making $26.92. We got the Lithium Gold Shell AL box over here. This is the AL box 2 to be specific. 720 gigahashes, 360 watts, making $23.98. And at the same time, only because wasn't this thing like 30 bucks yesterday? What's a lithium looking like? Is a lithium taking a shit again? I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest. Oh god, bruh. $1.15. Holy shit. 10% down. Man, this thing just releases and it gets 10% down. That's insane. I don't know what's gonna happen with this unit. I hope it's good, but dude, listen, it's a profitable unit for sure. Just $6,000. I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to see how long it lasts. Where is the other AL box? Let's see real quick. It's actually down here, only making $11.99 a day. This thing was making a shit. Remember, this thing was making like almost 100 bucks a day. Isn't that crazy? It's crazy to think about. So crazy to think about, man. All right, moving on. Let's see. The Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $19.38 a day. KS3M 6 terahash unit making $12.14 a day. Bruh. That's bad too. That is real bad. All right, let's see. We have, where is the L9? Right here. The L9 16 gigahash unit making $18.81 a day. Man, Dogecoin and Litecoin need to move up because I mean, even though the $18 is not bad, right, per day, profit wise, it still sucks to see it. Like I want the L9 to be like a $40 a day machine, and it will be for sure at some point, but not yet. It's crazy. But you know what, the good thing about the L9s is I think they hold, or just the Litecoin miners in of itself, like they actually hold their value way better than anything else. Like the L7 I have, the 9050 down at Terra Hosting, shout out to them. This unit has been like literally profitable the entire bear market, no joke. Even though like it might have went down to like $5 $4 a day, but it straight up has been profitable this entire time. There's no denying that, right? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm making $7.38 over here on that thing every day, which is awesome. Paying 10 cents per kilowatt hour. If you guys are interested in hosting, check out the link in the description. We have the Gold Shell KA Box Pro. This is a new miner, 1.6 terahash unit at 600 watts. $3.97 a day. Actually, I saw the Ice River KS0 Pro. Who was that? Hold on. Let me find it. I think it was Greater Good Mining. We're gonna give him a shout out. Here it is. Greater Good Mining KS0 Ultra Overclock step-by-step guide. 1.6k views. Hell yeah. I watched this yesterday actually. I'm gonna put this in the chat if anybody's interested in watching this. He has the link to the upgrade and stuff, but you guys please like make sure you read the readme file and pay attention to his video, because like he teaches you how to do it. And I've never seen his face, by the way. I didn't know he looked like that. I've never seen him. I was like, oh, that's him. I'm like, I didn't know he showed his face on camera. That's a riot. But yeah, this if you guys want to get it, I think he got up to like 650 mega hash or something. I was like, oh damn, that's crazy. And it was like 200 watts, so it was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. We're looking like, you know, the stock settings are 400 gigahashes at 100 watts. So I mean, the 200 watts for an extra 200 plus 250 or so giga hashes, that's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. It really is. I mean, yeah, it's less efficient technically, but listen, if you could squeeze that much more out of them, I mean, I guess why not? I'm not into overclocking my KS0s, so I want them to last a long time, but just in general, it's pretty sweet, right? Let's see. Does the Sia King own this? Does the Sia King own this? Who are you asking about? Are you talking about what's his name? Power Minds? I haven't seen that kid in a while. I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. Fully electric. Thank you for that. I don't watch his videos though. Bruh. We all know why. All right, let's move on. Let's see. KS0 Pro over here, 200 gigahash unit, making 44 cents a day. Running that thing on solar, I'm making a little bit more than that. Let's see, the KS0, the original 100 gigahash is making, dude, it's crazy. It only makes 1 CASPA a day, 2 CASPA just about, 1.9, 18 cents a day. That's insane. But you know what? The other thing I was thinking about too, on these machines, okay? Again, CASPA has never seen a bull run. All right. The peer-to-peer, you know, it's now its own ecosystem. Like, it checks all the boxes, okay? In the bull run, I would be shocked to not see this thing explode. That's just my opinion. When this thing hits Coinbase, when it hits one of the tier 1 exchanges, this coin's gonna blow up. Like, it is. I don't know how it's not going to. Let's put it that way, okay? It literally has never seen a bull run. It's just brand new, and it's in the top 30 coins at a $4.2 billion market cap. You know how crazy that is? It's insane. But the reason I'm mentioning that is because, like, you know, everybody, I hear a lot of people talk about CASPA miners. Should you buy them? Should you not buy them? Like, listen, for a gamble on an ultra, okay, 250 bucks. Again, you go out to dinner 3 times, 250 bucks is gone. Some people just one time. that costs you dinner, you know. Or you go out to the bar a couple times with your friends, and that's it. You spend 250 bucks. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you wipe your ass 250. It's not that bad. It's not that much money to get into mining. But if this coin ever went to, you know, who knows, 50 cents, $1, like, it could be stupid profitable. I know the yield's gonna go down, so that's the only real catalyst here. But is this machine really a bad buy? What do you guys think? I think it's a great buy, to be honest. For that cheap, I don't know. I really do, but I don't give a shit if you buy them or not. I have one ultra and I have the rest pros. I wish I bought the ultras, but they weren't out then. Let's see. A lot of new coins couldn't pump in the bull run. Let's go. You never know, dude. You know what? Again, you really do never know. It's a gamble with everything, right? But just checking all the boxes and, you know, beating the trilemma, going along power law alongside Bitcoin. It's the only other coin that's ever done it. It's just, I don't know, man. Fully electric CCSD. I spent $470 when taking out the family for dinner. 5 kids, me and the wife, bro. Bruh. Oh my God. Yeah. Myself, when I first met Rondi, no, it wasn't the first time meeting him. It was like the first time we actually got together and hung out. We went out to dinner at this wicked fancy restaurant. I ended up paying for the bill. I wouldn't let him pay for it. I got the bill and it was $750. I was like, oh my God. I think I left it like a G. I don't even know. I spent so much money that night on dinner for no reason. It was just ridiculous. But like, just in general, it's like insane how much food costs. All right, moving on. Let's see. GPUs. What do we got? The 4090 over here. Mining Nexa. What is going on with Nexa? Nexa pumping? I'm not a huge fan of Nexa, but there's no reason either. I just never been into it. Let's see. 7 days. I mean, we're down 7.6% on the day. I wonder if the yield's just up because no one's mining it. Maybe. I mean, we've had a little rise, I guess, past year. It's been real shit, to be honest, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens there, but kind of interesting. 4090 is the most profitable on Nexa. BTG, Ironfish, and Pyron. That seems to be the consensus there for the 4080. 4070 BTG Nexa. Xano on the 7900 XT. We have Firo. Jeez, GPUs that still going to Firo. Look, this is actually a lot of Firo. I haven't seen that much Firo in a long time on the chart. Wow. Let's see. What's Firo looking like? $1.30. Crazy. $1.30. Jesus. The yields must be up. Late live, you are dreaming. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Firo, weird. Not a huge fan of them. They shit on GPU miners at one point. So I stand with DJ Mines on this one. Screw Firo. All right, new coins. Let's see. Nothing's changed. Literally last couple days, nothing's changed. Yeah, we're trying a new time, Hawk. I'm trying this afternoon. I wanted to see how many people showed up. Obviously, it's not many at all, but it's totally off the cuff, just random ass time, 1 o'clock. I wanted to see, like, again, how many people showed up, if it was a good time for people, because my kid's napping and it was just convenient for me today. So this is what it is. Upcoming events, nothing happening for 94 days. I don't even think I'm going to show that anymore, to be honest. All right, let's look over here. Still very bullish that we're in a 3 to 5 year tech bull market. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Rotation out of tech that began last week, flaring again. The Nasdaq dropping more than 2.5% yesterday. Joining us right now, Gene Munster, Deepwater Asset Management Managing Partner. Just a correction, something worse, something more. How do you think about it?
Andrew, I still think we're in the third inning of this AI boom, and just look for the recent piece of evidence, TSMC results this morning, revenue up 40% year over year, compared to up 17% in the March quarter, flat in the December 23 quarter. So the fundamentals look really good. I want to just quickly talk about this pullback. From its peak on July 10th, NASDAQ is down just about 4%. If we look back at the dot-com boom from, let's call it 94 through 99, that's 6 years, there were 11 times when the market traded down more than 10%, average of 14%, one time down 28% in 1998. It is normal when the market is so strong for investors to get near-term nervous about some events, yesterday being commentary from Trump and Biden around regulation and treatment of Taiwan. But at the end of the day, the fundamentals are going to power AI. They're much more powerful than politics, and I'm still very bullish that we're in a 3 to 5 year bull market.
And is that still a chip story to you, or do you think there's a software side to it too?
Software side is predominantly going to play out, I think, in the private companies. The companies obviously like OpenAI, XAI. We're investors in a company called Invisible, which does model training. These companies are growing hundreds of % per year. The AI theme will eventually pull up software, but I think the darlings of AI software are in the private space. Good news for public investors, they will likely IPO in the next 2 to 3 years. So I think they'll get a shot at that apple.
Tesla's been ripping, huh? Wasn't it like, I swear I thought it was like $160 at one point, like a month ago. Am I wrong? Let me know in the chat if you guys are investing in Tesla and if it's actually up almost $100 right now.
IPO not bought, by the way, because the other big question, of course, is whether if Trump wins, you think the regulatory environment allows for some very, very big deals.
I was just tuned into your earlier segment. Yes, I think that it's getting to be progressively difficult for these big tech companies to buy. That's why Google is one of our holdings in our Titan portfolio, best position relative to AI.
Oh boy, that ended way sooner than I thought it was going to end. All right, what bank earnings are telling us? Let's see what they got to say again over here on CNBC television. Guys, hit the like button. Appreciate you for hanging out.
Turning to the banks as earnings continue with the regionals now beginning to report. Our Leslie Picker has been tracking some of the big themes. And Leslie, what the regional banks are telling us about the overall economy.
Yeah, the regional banks are trading higher today. And think about this, Sarah, the major concerns about credit quality amid last year's regional bank turmoil and the historic rise in interest rates, well, they're not really playing out so far. In fact, the 2Q earnings from the biggest banks suggest they're weathering the economy just fine. And in some ways, they're actually thriving. The average second quarter return on tangible equity among this cohort was the best quarterly performance in at least a year. ROTE is a measure of profitability as well as efficiency. And the broader impacts of higher rates seem to be turning a corner. A declining percentage of banks are tightening their lending standards, and the charge-off rate on commercial real estate loans has been leveling off. One bank credit hedge fund manager we spoke with said the backdrop is conducive for further upside.
There's a bank super cycle. It's like the opposite of what we had from 2011 to 2020. And that dynamic is at higher interest rates, the economy is growing, inflation is a little high, so nominal rates stay high, and the banks churn out massive profits. I think there's every reason to think that's going to be what happens. I don't really see another scenario, absent some crazy exogenous shock.
To be sure, it's not perfect. Credit card delinquency rates are still trending higher, although they do appear to be stabilizing. However, Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan said on CNBC this week that the, quote, restrictive rate structure is still much higher than they need, suggesting there may still be some lag effects that have yet to play out, guys.
Interesting. All right, let's see what else we got over here. BOFA's Jill Carey Hal. I don't know why I couldn't say that. On what's driving the rally in small cap stocks. See what they got to say again over here on CNBC.
What's behind the most recent rally and what are the best names to buy in the space? Joining us this morning, BofA Securities head of U.S. small and mid cap strategy, Jill Carey Hall. Jill, we are grateful to have you today. What a crazy week. We've been asking everybody if they can sort of frame this in what inning this rotation might be in. Do you got an opinion on that one?
Well, I think, there were two key factors that could drive a broader, sustained rally in the Russell 2000. And one of them would be inflation decelerating and more confidence in the Fed cuts, which I think is now what we're seeing and what's driven the rally over the past week. I think the other is more confidence in the profits recovery, the fundamental story, because there's no question that the acceleration in profits growth should be positive for small caps. I think the issue is that that's a hope right now, and there's sort of a lot of uncertainty in that story. The jury's still out there because when you look at, expectations and estimate revisions, fourth quarter is expected to be this big pickup in small cap profits growth. Usually profits fall harder and recover faster for small caps, but they've lagged. And when you look since the start of the year, analysts were expecting by this quarter, second quarter, we'd be back to very positive growth, outpacing large caps. That hasn't happened. Profits growth is expected to be negative this quarter and recover slightly next quarter. So I think if we don't see an improvement there, if guidance stays tepid, if revisions stay tepid, that could risk that we see a pause in this rally. But if we see better guidance and, beat and raises this quarter that suggests the fundamental story is intact, then, yeah, in that case, I think we could see a continuation of small cap leadership.
Right. And you do point out that there are pockets where revisions are positive. What sectors would that lead you to?
Well, I think, just looking at characteristics of stocks that drove the rally recently, it does suggest that focus on fundamentals. So part of the rally was, stocks that would benefit from lower rates. We saw levered stocks rally. We saw, obviously positioning effects, stocks that had high short interest rallied, risky stocks rallied. But then the stocks that saw positive revisions were some of the best performers, too, over the past week. So, I think that spans a variety of sectors because when you look at 2Q earnings season, most sectors are slated to see earnings down. So, I think it's more about being selective. This is a good environment for stock pickers. I think overall value stocks, they're relatively cheap versus growth stocks. So focusing on the quality, profitable value stocks in small caps right now. These are areas where I think you could still see upside.
But they've been cheap for a while, Jill, and you have come on time and time again saying the valuation cap makes them so compelling. Now's the moment. What has fundamentally changed? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it the low rates? Is it the Trump trade? What is it where clients are finally saying, okay, this is the time?
Yeah, and I mean, small caps still look very cheap versus large caps. Absolute valuations for the Russell have come up, so they now no longer look that cheap after the recent rally. So I think, the continuation of positive macro and fundamental trends is going to be, what's needed if we want to see further upside and more multiple expansion. I think this is an environment, again, where we want to be selective. Valuations don't tend to be that predictive over the short term. So, for the long term, I still think it's an environment where small caps look, poised to see better upside over the next decade than large caps, given where valuations are today. But near term, I think, selectivity is going to be key. And, the Fed, like I said, was a big driver of what we saw over the last week. And you've seen some other forces as well. But, right now, if you look at the Russell 2000 macro indicators.
That's crazy. Look at the Q1 of 2023. insane for small cap.
There's ISM, that's one of the most correlated indicators with small caps. Now the Russell 2000 is pricing in about 55 on the ISM. So I think we need to continue to see macro and fundamentals remain supportive. We track a regime indicator in our team. That's remained in the recovery phase, which is generally positive for small caps, but we've started to see some of the underlying components weaken. So we're watching that as well.
All right, shout out to them for that. One more over here. Small cap rally has some legs here. Let's see what they got to say. Again, over here, guys, that like button.
Joining us here at Post 9 this morning is Citi's U.S. equity strategist Scott Croner. Has a target of 5,600. Great to see you, Scott.
Great being here.
Before we get to the election cycle, rotation. You want to put an inning on this thing?
I think we're early innings, right? So let's talk about small cap, which you were just featuring. So the fact is that small cap has had negative earnings growth for the past 2 years. You look at consensus expectations for next year, and for the first time in 3 years, you're going to see a narrowing of the growth gap between large and small. Absolute valuation, super attractive. Relative valuations off the charts, but explainable because of the mega cap growth leadership. But the way this sets up is that typically when you go into this Goldilocks scenario, where we get a Fed pivot, easing rate influence, combined with, I think, some renewed confidence that we can navigate something close to a soft landing. I think the small cap rally has some legs here.
And that fits with your long-standing house view of more cuts than the street expects, right?
Exactly.
How many?
Well, the house view is still for 8 cuts between now and a year from now. I get a little bit concerned that what comes with 8 cuts is a little bit more dire economic circumstance. I'd be happy with 4.
4 in the next 12 months?
Yeah.
So basically quarterly or so, right? Yeah.
But the valuation gap with small caps, I mean, is there for a reason. They don't have the same kind of earnings power that you get from some of the big tech stocks, and they don't have the same kind of economy because demand is weakening, higher interest costs. I mean, that's why they haven't been in style. Is any of that changing?
Well, they become more economic sensitive. Honestly, when you look at the Russell 2000 example, as half the tech weight of large cap, got twice the industrials weight, has a very big exposure to banks, which I'm a big fan of right now. So all told, what you get is a more economic sensitive picture with less of that pure AI growth dynamic. But when you come to the Fed narrative and you look at the way the price action has been over the past 2 years, this all got priced in the first half of 22.
Why are you a big fan of banks?
Well, I think banks are the cleanest Trump trade right now. So you got a much easier valuation starting point, okay? As we get to this Fed pivot point, steepening curve, even if it's a bear steepening, should be net positive for the fundamentals. You go forward in terms of the trade talk and around tariffs, I think they're less exposed to tariffs. And so the icing on the cake is that you then you factor in some deregulatory spin, whether it's Basel III or open up a little bit on the M&A front. I think the banks are in a really good position here.
Weren't concerned at all by the comments from the vice presidential nominee at the Republican convention last night, talking about Wall Street as the enemy?
That's a good one.
Was that a yes or a no?
That's one of the greatest responses ever.
That's a different discussion. I'm not overly concerned about that right now.
Okay.
I think fundamentals win out here, and I think the banks are going to be in good shape. And like I said, the bigger issue for me anyway is how to think about Trump tariffs. And in relation to what I still think, as Carl pointed out, as we go into next year, we're going to be faced with a deficit situation. And I haven't heard either candidate talk about a concrete plan on spending. And so what we have to be sensitive to is the fact that tariff talk begins to muddle the fundamental waters, right? Coming back to small cap, a little bit more domestic focus. You eliminate some of that issue. All told, I think what we really have to keep an eye on are the candidate policy platforms from here as it pertains to the setup for next year, which is we're going to go into the beginning of next year with debt ceiling drama coming back. We're going to have the Trump tax cuts expiry at the end of next year, which the moment you start talking about lowering taxes, you have to find an offset on the revenue gap to deal with the deficit situation on that.
Sure. All right. Moving on. Crypto World, CNBC Television, crypto-friendly VC investors plan donations to pro-Trump super PAC. Interesting. Let's see what they got to say over here. And I apologize. I'm not going to talk much. I got to make a phone call quick.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Venture capital titans and crypto backers Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz say they plan to donate to political action committees to support former President Trump's election bid. The two heads of Andreessen Horowitz told employees at the venture firm that they plan to make significant contributions to PACs that back Trump's campaign for president. The investors join other big names in tech who have come out in support of Trump, including Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, who have both recently donated to America PAC. The twin crypto executives join the likes of Joe Lonsdale, co-founder of Palantir, and Elon Musk, who reportedly plans to pledge about $45 million a month to the super PAC. Last month, the Winklevoss twins donated a combined $2 million in Bitcoin to the Trump campaign, but that was partially returned after their contributions exceeded the max allowed under federal law. A source within the Trump campaign told us at the time that the portion the twins donated above the limit was refunded to them. That limit is $844,600. Next, Craig Wright, the man who claimed he invented Bitcoin, updated his website with an admission that he did not create the cryptocurrency following a court order. The legal notice, which must be displayed on his personal website for 6 months, declares that the court found that he lied extensively and repeatedly when he claimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. The notice also says that he attempted to create a false narrative by forging documents on a grand scale, presenting them in evidence. On top of that, the notice says that Wright is not the author of the Bitcoin white paper and is not the person who created the Bitcoin system.
Duh.
Yesterday, Wright was referred to British prosecutors for allegedly committing perjury. Back in March, a UK judge ruled that the Australian computer scientist is not Satoshi Nakamoto as a result of a lawsuit brought forward by the Jack Dorsey-backed Crypto Open Patent Alliance to prevent him from claiming himself as Bitcoin's investor and suing Bitcoin developers.
Like what? I don't understand that whole thing. Like, why would you want to claim to be somebody you're not? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me.
Last, spot Ether ETF inflows could push the
Just to point it out, if Crypto KJ was here, he'd notice, but she's got a ring on her finger now. That's why you guys don't see him anymore.
price of Ether past $5,000, according to Bitwise.
Just saying.
This memo from CIO Matt Hogan, published this week, argues that ETF flows could have an even bigger impact on Ethereum than they did on Bitcoin. Now, Hogan says new highs for Ether won't happen immediately, though, and warned that the first few weeks since launching could be, quote, choppy, as money might flow out of the $11 billion Grayscale Ethereum Trust after it converts to an ETF. He goes on to forecast that Ether could hit new records by the end of this year.
Oh, Ted, that's a good point. He said he was trying to gain access to Satoshi's wallets, but how would that help him gain access? That's not going to help him gain access. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't, like, the courts can't give him the private keys.
Now, yesterday we told you that according to recent Citi research, spot Ether ETFs could see net inflows of up to $5.4 billion in the first 6 months since launching. All right, sticking with spot Ether ETFs for our main story. I spoke with EY global blockchain leader Paul Brody, whose book on Ethereum for Business was published last year, about what a potential imminent approval of these products means for the Ethereum network and the crypto industry. Last time you were on the show was back in March, and at the time, you said you were very optimistic spot Ether ETFs will get approved. About 2 months later, in May, the SEC approved a rule change that would pave the way for ETFs that buy and hold Ether. And speaking with CNBC last month, SEC Chair Gary Gensler said that spot ETH ETFs should be fully approved sometime over the summer. And now, Reuters is reporting, citing sources, that these products will likely begin trading on Tuesday. What are you expecting, and what will the launch of these products here in the U.S. mean for Ethereum and the crypto industry as a whole?
Real quick, Ted in the chat said, if the NSA really did write down the encryption for Bitcoin, there is a backdoor. Trust me. Interesting. Yeah, but I don't think they'd give it to him, right? That'd be weird. Iowa mining. You need to put crypto back in there, man. That was weird to read. I almost wore that shirt you got me today, the Iowa Hawks or whatever the hell it is. I don't know what the hell the football shirt. I think it's football. I don't even know what shirt it is. The shirt you sent me, I almost wore it today, actually. And I was wondering if you would be here, but I was like, he's probably not even going to be here. I set my alarm to go off. When you go live on YouTube, something happened today, and it's already the middle of the afternoon and 90 degrees out already. What happened? Dude, it's brutal. But yes, it is the afternoon. Appreciate you.
I'm expecting so many good things. This this is the beginning of a relatively long journey. We're in the early stages of what we think about as global regulatory convergence. Now, it's not going to be even, it's not going to go at the same pace everywhere, but what we're going to end up with is a model where around the world, investors through various mechanisms have access to, first of all, the major cryptocurrency and crypto assets in a variety of different ways, through exchanges, through ETFs, through individual wallets. Secondly, they'll have access to stable coins on blockchains. And then thirdly, they'll have access eventually, I think, to decentralized financial services, which are basically programmatic on-chain financial services powered by both cryptocurrencies and what we are calling real-world assets. That is, financial assets or physical assets that exist off-chain and are being managed on a blockchain.
So do you think the approval of spot Ether ETFs would open the door for other spot crypto ETFs?
For sure.
Late last month, VanEck became the first asset manager to file an application for a spot Solana ETF in the US. And this month, SIBO filed a request with the SEC to list ETFs tied to the cryptocurrency. And now the agency has 240 calendar days to decide whether to approve or deny the 19B4 applications to list the products from VanEck and 21 shares. So what do you think will happen there?
So this is a good example of how there's some level of unevenness in the global regulatory conversion. So this week I'm in Europe. I was here last week for the ETHCC conference. That was in Brussels. I met with European policymakers. Europe has a regulatory structure called the Markets in Crypto Assets Infrastructure, and that provides a legal framework for almost any kind of crypto asset to be transacted kind of under a legal model and protection. We don't have anything as broad as that in the United States. So individual circumstances can affect significantly the applications. And I cannot predict how the SEC will react to a Solana application compared to how they reacted to Bitcoin and Ethereum. But there are really substantial differences between these different networks. Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of, in addition to being the OG networks and very big networks, they're also much, much more decentralized than the Solana ecosystem, and they have kind of different technical requirements. You might see, and they have different sort of total market caps and liquidity, so you might see a different response from the SEC. I have no way of forecasting what that response is because unlike the EU, there isn't kind of a general framework specifically for crypto assets out there that makes something like this highly predictable.
That makes sense. And of course, we'll talk more about regulation in just a bit. But last month, EY Parthenon research revealed that institutional investors have increased allocations to digital assets and crypto-related products and plan to continue to do so. It also showed that there's growing interest for investing in tokenized assets to drive portfolio diversification. What does this signal to you, and what else stood out to you from the research?
So a couple of different things. The first thing this signals is this is basically, it's kind of trickle down investing strategy. So if you were to go back 12, 18, 24 months, we were talking to family offices. These are people with hundreds of millions of dollars of assets. I would say, and I'm speaking a little bit anecdotally, 100% of family offices had some crypto, right? And they're getting more serious about that over time. That's moving into the general kind of investing mainstream. So I think the first key takeaway from my colleagues over at Parthenon is there's nothing about crypto assets or tokenized assets that is a fad. Like anybody who sees that anymore, that viewpoint is out of date. And Larry Fink from BlackRock, who was on your CNBC just the other day, was saying, I see Bitcoin as a legitimate asset. I see this comparable to gold. Right. We're tokenizing on Ethereum. I mean, what he said, the stuff he said was music to my ears, although I was a little upset that I feel like he stole all my talking points like 3 hours before I got to make them in my other discussion. But I get very excited about this. The thing that people should kind of keep in mind and have a little bit of caution about is more money into crypto and blockchain is not a rising tide that lifts all boats. I believe we will see investment markets behave in relatively similar ways. And what I mean by this is, let me give an example from the world of precious metals. Gold is $14 trillion, 13 to 14 trillion in market cap. That is more than 10 times larger than the next largest precious metal, right? And when investors want to go into precious metals and as a hedge for inflation, for example, they buy gold. They don't buy generally palladium or silver or any other sort of specialized precious metal. I think we will see the same kind of behavior in cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is digital gold. It will behave like digital gold, and I think it will be as dominant to other crypto assets as gold is to other precious metals. Similarly, Ethereum has become the dominant kind of tokenized asset and smart contract platform. I think there'll be kind of a similar effect there, where Ethereum will soak up more than 90% of all these tokenized real-world assets that companies like BlackRock and others are talking about deploying.
Now, the reason
that's actually a really good point. How we kind of compared it to the other metals, like gold to the other metals is Bitcoin to, the other cryptos. That it makes total sense.
Research also found that the lack of regulatory clarity and a perceived lack of trusted partners in the ecosystem are still likely barriers to growth and adoption of crypto and tokenization. Since we last spoke, we have seen some regulatory advancements here in the U.S. In fact, in May, 71 Democrats joined 208 Republicans in voting yes for the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, a crypto market structure bill. What do you make of that development, and what does that signal to you?
Before he speaks on that, Duke and my man DJ Mines, hopefully you're doing well over there. And let's see. I disagree. I think it is Solana, not ETH, says Carl Coate. You know what? Solana's going to do just fine, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think Solana's going to dethrone Ethereum in any way. I think there's too many users on Ethereum. I think there's too much stuff on Ethereum already. I mean, eventually, yeah, it could be a real tight competition, but I don't think Solana's ever going to flip Ethereum. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm just a guy on YouTube. Don't take any of my advice, but just in general, I don't think it's going to happen.
What it signals to me...
I know their fees are ass, by the way, and I don't disagree with that at all. They need to fix the fee schedule because it's fucking terrible.
What makes me very hopeful is that cryptocurrency and blockchain in general remain a bipartisan political issue, right? When we look at things that are highly polarizing, they don't necessarily advance very well in this kind of 50-50 political environment we have right now. When you look at stuff that's bipartisan, there's much more room for growth and compromise. So, without taking any one particular sort of political party or viewpoint, I would just say it's really, really important for the health of the industry in the future for people from both parties to be able to cross political lines and agree that this is a technology that we should have, these are financial markets that we should have, that we are better off having these innovations in the United States and out of the United States, for example.
So yeah, I agree, Carl Coate. He said ETH fees are they're higher and slow than Solana, right? And yeah, you're not wrong. You're 1,000% correct on that. Like it's a total good point, right? But Ethereum doesn't crash every 3 months. So there's they have a lot to do. Obviously they got to fix that issue, right? With the whole crashing and just flooding of the network and stuff. I know the meme coins didn't help that, but I don't think Solana is ever going to win against Ethereum when it comes to just the big guys. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what I think. Anyways, all right, moving on to the videos. I want to see what Mr. Altcoin Daily is going to say over here. How much crypto do you need to become a millionaire by 2025? Let's see how much bullshit's in this video. Perfect. Hopefully not much, but it could be interesting. I saw a spreadsheet for half a second. Let's see.
How much crypto do you need to become a millionaire?
Yeah, I opened at the beginning of this and I was like, ooh, okay, he's got kind of a spreadsheet going, so we'll see.
By 2025, how many Bitcoin and how many penny altcoins? Watch today's whole video. Keep in mind, investing in crypto is incredibly risky. Never put in any money you are not willing to lose immediately. And I am not a financial advisor, nor can I see the future. So just...
Mr. Dan R, thanks for the $5 super chat. DJ Mines in the house. There he is. The man himself. Screaming. that was the funniest stream ever. I'll never forget it. It was so funny.
Just use today's video as a jumping off point and hit the like button if you appreciate these breakdowns. So by 2025, my conservative estimate has always been for Bitcoin that we're going to hit at least $120,000 per coin. Now that may...
You know what? I'm on point with him for that. I think if we break 100, we're going to go to $120, $125. That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people are calling for 240 or some shit, or 250, but usually it's half of what people are saying around the Twitter X space.
Seem like a lot, but looking at Bitcoin's price history based on what Bitcoin does, typically 12 to 18 months after each halving.
The halving's a huge deal. So just to be clear, everyone is aware of the fixed supply of Bitcoin. There will only ever be 21 million, but not all 21 million have been issued to the world yet. And so we're at about 19 million out of 21 so far.
Well, and don't forget, too, a human error, there's a whole bunch lost.
Every 10 minutes, more and more get issued. And the halving is when that issuance schedule gets cut in half. So the supply, the forced sellers, those that pay money to produce Bitcoins, which then have to sell it to pay for their costs, that's going to be halved. And so the really simple way to think about it, Ed, is if demand remains the same and the Bitcoin sold gets cut in half, it should have an impact on the price to the upside.
A halving happens, Bitcoin's price explodes. A halving happens, Bitcoin price explodes. Halving, explosion, the last halving just happened. So I just really want you to understand that, to me, this is very reasonable by 2025, because even if demand for Bitcoin just stays the same, and by the way, based on all the institutional on-ramps that just opened up, demand for Bitcoin is actually increasing. But even if demand just stayed the same, if supply faucet gets cut in half, price has to go up.
One other thing I will say about Bitcoin that I think people don't understand, and this is part of the innovation that's really important.
And as explained by famed investor Lawrence Lepard, the higher Bitcoin's price goes, they can't mine the Bitcoin any faster. That's fundamentally different than even gold.
Why do you think Marathon Digital went? It was Marathon Digital, I believe, right? They started investing in the Caspa miners because they can. I mean, they can't mine it faster, but just in general, they need another way to make money. Like, you can't mine Bitcoin any faster than it's already happening.
Every commodity in the world, if you increase its price, the supply goes up. If gold went to 10,000 tomorrow, we'd mine more gold. If corn went up, if oil went to $300 a barrel, we'd drill for more oil. You would get more, higher price, you would get more. No matter where the price of Bitcoin goes, the issuance schedule is set. There's not going to be any more. It comes out, every block is, 6.25 coins right now, soon to be half of that. So, that's unique. And I, as a result of that, the world has never seen anything that really kind of looks like this, which is why, Ronnie Stofferle had a great chart on it. Bitcoin from inception has grown at 145% compound annually. And it's got a lower Sharpe ratio than any other asset. This is an amazing beast.
So based on Bitcoin's current price today, and by the way, as I'm recording this, Bitcoin is dipping lower, but that just means that the lower Bitcoin's price dips.
Also, I obviously recorded this over the weekend because it was like 57K. Real quick, Alvidus in the chat said, I think lots of Bitcoin miner companies will go bankrupt. I don't think that because there's always going to be some sort of other miner they can invest in. Like, it'll be a Litecoin, Dogecoin miner, or it'll be some sort of Caspa miner, right? Caspa's stupid profitable. And you got to understand too, like the fact that Bitcoin can only be mined so fast, they can only create so much with the machines they have because the reward is so much lower. They're going to need to, shift to a different coin. And those big companies, and this is another reason I'm hugely bullish on Caspa, because the fact that they're getting into the space, that means that these machines are just going to keep coming. And they're going to keep making them, and they're going to keep mining Caspa. And you know what? They're either going to sell it or they're going to hold it. It doesn't matter. It's still the demand is going to drive the price up.
The easier this will be to accumulate. And based on...
And not to mention the big companies pay like 2 to 3 cents, exactly what DJ Mine just said in the chat.
Today's current price, you would need to own 8.3 Bitcoin today, and you'd be a millionaire by 2025. Perfect. Now for the average...
And you know what? Like, think about... Was it Michael Saylor that said it? Think of it as property, not as a coin. And that was pretty interesting to me. Like, think of it as like houses. If you owned 8 houses, a lot of money. Yeah, but like, it'd be worth it in the long run. Like, you invest in a property, it typically goes up over time.
Person owning 8.3 Bitcoin today is starting to become unattainable. Altcoins give you a better chance at generational wealth, but they do come with more risk. So if you're willing to take on more risk, I would look at altcoins. I would also subscribe, join the 1.48 million people. And honestly, I could have probably gone even a little higher.
All right, so he's thinking 9,000 for Ethereum.
Because if I think Bitcoin from this price point could 2x, Ethereum, to me, could at least 3 to 4x. This would be that low-end 3x. But again, I want to keep this reasonable. I want to keep these realistic. And with the Ethereum ETF happening July 15th, now give or take 5 days on either side of this, but the ETF...
Next Tuesday, I think it's projected to actually start trading or something.
What is a spot Ethereum ETF?
Basically, just like the Bitcoin ETF, it's now going to allow traditional finance, institutional money, to finally be able to easily buy Ethereum. Crypto Casey breaks down what this Ethereum ETF means.
So why is this a big deal? Well, there are a ton of people with a ton of money held with their legacy finance and retirement accounts, and a spot Ethereum ETF would be a regulated, stable way for all of these people to gain price exposure to Ether in their investment portfolios. And if the approval of a spot Ethereum ETF is anything like the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF, it's likely going to be a great success, as it would allow the floodgates to a ton of money that's been on the sidelines.
So again, a $9,000 Ethereum with the ETFs opening up. Even if those Ethereum ETFs underperform, still this price, still very reasonable, in my opinion. Now, how much Ethereum would you need to become a crypto millionaire by 2025? 111 Ethereum. Now, how about Solana? How much Sol do you need to become a millionaire by 2025?
The comparison is like Android versus Apple.
So if Ethereum is more like Android versus Solana.
You know what? That was a good point. Android versus Apple. That's actually like the best comparison I've heard in a while. I can't believe I've never heard that before.
Solana, more like Apple.
Solana feels like Apple. It's a closed system, but it's very slick, very good. Will create great loyalty. Ethereum is much broader.
Both can thrive. Both can coexist for different reasons. Where do we...
I mean, if that's the case and Solana is the Apple, I guess it would end up overtaking Ethereum, but who knows? I guess we'll have to
expect Sol price by next year. Global macro investor Raoul Pal weighs in from our last interview.
If Solana's at 200-ish today, right, for it to go up 100% would be, in crypto summer, would be highly unusual. At least 300% would be pretty standard.
$500.
That would be ETH all-time highs versus the previous all-time highs of that high. So that will put it 600. So let's mark that as like, that's a reasonable spot. You know, if I use a few charts and a bit of, you know, log charts, I get somewhere between 800 and 1200. In a complete bubble cycle, I think it can go above 2000. In a short stunted cycle, 750, something like that.
Now, me personally, I believe Solana, just in terms of narrative, is the gem of this cycle. So price-wise, things could get crazy. If price can hit at least 1,100, then you would need 909 Solana today to become a millionaire by next year. Now, before we...
909 Solana. Wait, what? He said $1,100? He thinks it's going to be $1,100? That's a lot. I don't see that. I think Raoul Paul was way better, way closer to the realistic amount. I'm thinking like $500-ish, 550, 6. Yeah, that sounds way more realistic.
We look at penny altcoins, so make sure you watch today's whole video and give it a like. Uniswap is the crypto.
Them boys hitting opium. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I want to tackle next.
That's kind of why I wanted to watch
simply
this.
Because Uniswap has real revenue. Annualized revenues earned by liquidity providers on Uniswap in 2023 amount to over $350 million, far ahead of the nearest competitor. If we're looking for cryptos with actual revenue, which to me means can they sustain? Will they be around at least in
Uniswap $220, he thinks?
So is that a joint?
That's, I don't know.
Another year, if not 5 to 10. Uniswap has actual users, fundamentals. It is, to me, a blue chip in the space. If it can get to a price of at least $220,
it's all the decentralization of the whole platform is not something that a lot of people with money, let's put it that way, are gonna really want to get into. It's I guess it's too sketchy. That's what I would say. It would probably be too sketchy for a lot of guys with a lot of money to get into it. That's my opinion.
Per token, you would need around 4,549 Uni in your wallet today. Now,
I don't think he's getting paid to say this crap, because I mean, maybe with whatever the this one is, Foxy, I've never heard of that in my life. He's definitely going to say we're a partner of this one. And yeah, I don't know. The other ones, I don't think they reach out to people like him to sponsor.
Looking at this, I will say maybe I should have included another tier listing out the price that this many tokens would cost today versus the price of these tokens today. Just know, generally speaking, that the lower cap you go, the newer, the riskier, the lower down the list of crypto coins you go, the less it's going to cost you today, but the more risk you take on, right? Bitcoin will cost you the most, but it's the least risk. Cardano and Polkadot. Some people call them Solana's little sisters.
I think, I really do think Cardano's going to do decently well. What the $9? You think it's going to do $9.50, dude? A Duke into that. Perfect. I wish. that would be a great. I said easy 6x. That ain't nowhere in the ballpark of 950 though. If it goes to 950, oh, that's crazy. So you guys don't be sleeping on Cardano. I think it's going to do well. But that's just that's a lot. That's a real lot. But maybe, dude, anything's possible.
Let's say that Cardano can get to just under $10 this cycle, and Polkadot, because of all the marketing they're doing, can get to around $350 per coin.
Nah, it's like this is
how much
moonshot stuff.
Each of these would you need today?
I don't know about Polkadot.
You would need just over 100,000 ADA tokens in your wallet, and Polkadot 2,857.
Hold on, let's do some math. 100,000. What's that right now? It's at like 40 cents. Or why is this calculator so freaking big? All right, so it's at 40. What is that? 40 cents. 40 cents times that by 1052. Oh shit. 263. Right. Take you $42,000 if it went to 950 to get you to $1 million bucks. Is that right?
DOT tokens to become a crypto millionaire by next year.
That's a big investment into Cardano, but you never know. Cardano I think it's gonna do well. Not that well, but it's gonna do well.
Blue chip gems in the Cosmos ecosystem. Let's say it can go from $19 today to just under $200.
So
actually $180 per coin. This one I actually sort of undervalued.
I don't know enough about Injective, to be honest.
Simply because it hit all-time highs just a few months ago. In a raging bull market, I'm still bullish. I still think this could go farther, deeper. But because I think it front-ran a little bit of its gains, it topped off at $52 per coin 4 months ago.
Dude, Rude Puts, thanks for being a member, dude. 30 months, man. Let's go. Party all the time. Raven and Virgo into the moon and Doge. Perfect. Thanks for being a member, dude. You're awesome.
My conservative projection would just be, honestly, a 2 to 3x to 4x from that. So 180 per coin total.
That's a lot.
And you need 5,555 Injective tokens today. Last up, I wanted to include a meme coin, and I wanted to include...
I guarantee you he is being paid to show this one. I want to see... All right, put in the chat, what do you guys think? What is this, Foxy? Let's just look it up first before he even gets into it, because I don't even know what it is. It's definitely a paid sponsor, though. This fucking bullshit meme coin. What is this? It's at a penny. It's at a penny. Yeah. About a month ago. Down 55%. You definitely got paid to show this one. This motherfucker's gonna say $1 or some shit, isn't he? No. Oh god. It's going to 0.
AI token. I'm bullish for different reasons on both sectors. These are two that I own, but feel free to put in your own meme coin that you believe in.
Like, again, I wouldn't do no Foxy, whatever that bullshit is. Like, if you're gonna do a meme coin, like do Pepe or something, just because it's like, it's just the funniest one. Like, there's so many Pepe like things, gifts and all this other bullshit. Like,
my play for meme coins is usually just a proxy play, meaning pick the best coin in each ecosystem. If the ecosystem that you choose does well, obviously their main meme coin, I think, would do well. Also, if you're looking for a great place to go, with Foxy right now coming in at 1 cent, and understanding any of these coins this low, this risky, could go to 0. But right now, at 1 cent.
All right, you know what? I give him a little more respect. I swear I thought it was going to be like $1. It's 25 cents. It's still a big, you know, I don't believe it, but
I think top of cycle 25 cents per coin would be awesome. Today, that means you would need 4 million Foxy tokens today to become a millionaire by 2020. Peak maybe touched.
All right, $2.50 is thinking for AIT protocol. I don't know anything about that one, to be honest. Let's see. All right, shout out to them for that. We're gonna end that video because, yeah. All right, let's see. AIT is at 8 cents as of right now. Does anybody have this one? $14 million market cap. Total supply, so it is of a cap. Let's see. 93% down. Jesus. 93% down. Why is it so far down? Why is it so far down? That's kind of awful. I don't know though. Anyways, all right, moving on to the recap segment of things. Anybody else is just joining, appreciate you guys stopping by. I know this is a random time, just trying 1 o'clock, seeing if it works. If it doesn't work, whatever, I gotta figure something out because yeah, who knows. Let's see. You missed my member alert. Did I really? Oh, dude, Dan R. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I was too busy laughing. Who let the guy shilling Raven coin? Thanks for being a member for 14 months, dude. You're awesome. I appreciate you. Sorry, I didn't see that. All right, let's see. We got Bitcoin 63,579, looking pretty good. Ethereum at 3403. Honestly, they're both looking fantastic. We just want them to float sideways for a little bit. Kaspa almost 18 cents, 17.7. ETC is actually 22.93. We got LTC at 71.03, looking pretty good. I'm pumped. I bought some at 60 bucks, which is nice. Dogecoin 11 cents, almost 12 cents. Let's see. Rune over here up 6.84% to $4.46. Looking pretty decent. Nothing's really too crazy over here. What the hell? There we go. All right. Crypto bubbles. Who the biggest earner of the week is? Still this Popcat, huh? Interesting. 73 cents. Damn. Still Popcat. Whiff also is up $2.30. WorldCoin up 40.8%. Jesus. Crazy. All right. Flashbang. Fear and Greed Index at a 61. 61. All right. What time is it? Yes, we've been going for an hour. All right, fellas, you're all awesome. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know this time's weird, but it is what it is. Just got busy this morning, didn't have time, working off one vehicle, got the kids in camp. My life is a damn disaster in the morning now. So I'm gonna do my best to be here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock ish, 9:15, probably 9:30, depending. But yeah, you guys have a good day. Enjoy the rest of it. I will catch you guys bright and early, hopefully tomorrow morning. And if not, I'll be dropping a video at some point next week for wiring that solar setup. I got to get over there and start wiring that up today. Hopefully I want to get like the actual, I got to get the lines ran in my backyard. That shit's going to be so hard though. I have to dig it and stuff and freaking put pipes in the ground, and I don't want to do pipes. You guys are telling me to do pipes and not to just direct bury this wire that is able to be direct buried. I don't know. Anyways, love you all. Have a good day. Catch you soon. Peace out.
Perfect.
Eat shit.